everyone. Welcome to my 14th episode of my journey with ESRD, which is end-stage renal disease. And today I'm going to demonstrate how to set up the NxStage Pureflow for dialysis treatment. And the Pureflow is the bottom part of this whole system here. Those are the hanging bags, cycler, and Pureflow. And we're going to go ahead and demonstrate how to load a sack and make a batch of Pureflow, of dialysate for treatment. Okay, so let's get it going. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to clean off our table with a sandy cloth. Alright, so you sanitize the table. And then we're going to use a clean, dry sandy cloth. We're going to dry off the table. Okay. Always make sure you have your hands washed and your gloves on. Alright, so that should do it. Next, we're going to get our sack. And I have one right here. I'm going to lay it down. And we're going to open it. Find the perforated side, which is, if you can see this tear right here. And pull on that. All the way top. Okay. Slide that sack out, keeping its integrity. Okay. We're going to first check the sack number. This is sack 301, which is what I use. It has a lot number and it has an expiration date. This is 1923. The sack number, lot number is what you would put into, you would chart it into your iPad. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check for leaks by just pressing down left and right. Okay, making sure you don't see any leaks anywhere. Okay, seems good. And then we're going to take this sack and we're going to put it in our Pureflow bin. But first, we have to discard the sack that we've already used. All right, so let's show you that process. Okay, this is the Pureflow. Right now it's off. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. And the switch to do that, it's on the right hand side, right in the back. And there it is right up here. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on. Now it'll alarm something about power failure because we've turned it off. But it'll pick up where it left off too. So, actually it didn't alarm. Oh, there it is. I knew that was going to happen. So you press stop, which is the red button. And it goes right back to where it left off. As you can see, it says unload. This is the control panel, by the way. Okay. You have your arrows up and down for heat. You have your stop and your go. And then here lets you know the status, your status. Right now it's blinking on the caution because it's in prep mode. We're getting ready to unload and then load a sack. Okay. It has green for solid go and then red for stop or alarms. Okay. So let's go ahead and proceed with removing this sack. All right. Always keep your lines outside of the bin. I'm going to tell you why. Because if any of those lines leak and you get fluid in the bin, oh, it's going to take you a while before she stops screaming. She's going to alarm on you. It's very sensitive in here to conductivity. Now, although regular water does not, have conductivity, it still alarms with just regular water. Believe me, it's happened to me. So not just the dialysate. So you don't want any leaks, and biggest culprit of leaks is the orange line. Okay, so yeah, but any one of them can. So you want to keep your lines outside of the bin. Okay, first thing you're going to do is it's going to tell you when you finish with a batch, finish draining. It's going to tell you to close your clamps. Or finish flushing, rather. Draining and then flushing. It'll tell you close blue clamps. And there's 3 of them. So you close all 3 blue clamps, which I had already done. So, see? 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so let's hit go. Okay. So it's flushing. This Pureflow is connected to the pipes. So everything drains underneath to the pipes. It's connected to the pipes underneath the house. Got 1 minute left, and as you can see, it says close blue clamps. So I had opened them so that it could flush. So I'm closing back up. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So you hit go to let it know. This is how you communicate. These 2 buttons. You hit go to let it know that you've closed the blue clamps. It says open door and remove sack. Unload. Okay, so you want to disconnect your lines also. Okay. So here's the sack, completely empty. Okay. We're going to open the door, which is this right here. Okay. And we're going to open the pump, which is on the right. And we're going to remove the sack, the lines from the sack. Okay. Close that back up. Okay, now it says, as soon as I did that, remove the lines from the sack, it says standing by or standby, no batch, press go to start. We will, as soon as we disconnect these lines. We have to disconnect all the lines. All right, so we have to disconnect orange from orange. And that's right here. All right. Leave the orange line on though. Just disconnect from the center. Okay. Okay. You may want to clamp so that you don't get fluid if it didn't leak out any fluid. Put the cover on and drop that line. Okay. We can now take the sack out of the bin. Okay. going to disconnect the blue clamp from the very bottom blue clamp. There's that connection right there. That's the connection that you want to disconnect from. Do not disconnect from the center. Okay, this right here, this piece is protecting the pack. Okay, the port of entry on the pack. So you want to disconnect that right there. Drop the line. Discard your sack. Okay? And that's it. Discard your sack. That's it for that. So, at this point in time, we're going to go ahead and install our new sack. So, we're going to make a batch. It says press go, no batch, press go to start. Okay, we're going to hit go. It says initializing. Open door and load sack 301. Remember, every Pureflow is calibrated or programmed for your particular needs. So I'm using sack 301, 60-liter sack, give or take. It'll give me 3 treatments. Some are more, some are less. Some people use more liters than just 20 liters per treatment. That just happens to be my prescription. So I'm going to open the bin, okay, and I'm going to grab the sack, okay, by the neck, okay, making sure I maintain the integrity of the sack, okay, and then I'm going to put it in the bin. Okay, so I'm just going to drop it and I'm going to put it right dead in the center. There's some little knobs down here that you can use as a guide to the center of the bin, and I just line it up right there, and it kind of gives me dead center. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is open the flaps inside the bin, and you'll come up with the lines here. First thing you're going to do is the green sleeves. Okay, on each one you're going to pull and remove this little plastic cap. Okay, and then we're going to slide the green sleeve right down. Okay, open the door. If it tells you to do something, do it. She'll scream at you. Alright, now we're going to do the next one. Remove the little plastic and slide that sleeve down. Now, we're going to remove this white tab to release the line. Okay, we're going to unfold this. Okay. And you take these 3 green lines and pull it over the top so that you can get a better handle on what you're doing down here. Okay, so we're going to open the door, and I'm going to show you something. I'll bring you in closer. Okay. All right, there's a little, see that little nook right there, the little clamp thing? Okay, you go ahead and put that corner there. Rest that one there. This line goes up here. It rests right there. Okay, then we're going to open the pump, and we're going to put the rest of the line through there. Okay. Then we're going to close the plump. Okay. And we're going to ensure that these lines go straight down before we close the door, so nothing gets pinched. Okay. Okay. Close the door. All right. We've closed the door, so we tell it we closed the door, and by closing the door, and it says SAC 301 is loaded. Connect the lines, and here we go. Show you how to do that. All right. I hope you all be able to see. I'm going to do the best I can to show you all. Alright. Okay, so the first line we're going to connect is the blue line. So we're going to take this placard off, which is indicative of this is the first line to connect. You're going to check your seals too. Okay, everything's covered. Open clamp. We're going to grab our blue line connected to the pack. Okay, and we're going to disconnect this sterile line right here. Okay, because we're going to replace it. So, we're going to disconnect. This piece gets thrown away, and we're going to add this new piece to it. Okay, we're going to flip this lid open. Okay, and we're going to connect the two lines together. Okay, making sure it's nice and tight. All right, then we're going to open the top blue clamp, and we're done with that. Now we've got the orange line, which we also have to connect. It has a wing. We want to go ahead and, well, if I had the strength, we're going to open and throw away that wing cap, and we're going to open the cover to the orange line and connect orange to orange. Okay, and then we're going to open those clamps up. This yellow line is the waistline, and you'll connect your waistline when you do your to your cartridge waistline. Okay, so those lines are connected. All my clamps are open. All of them are open. All the blues, orange, and of course the white over here. So we're going to close the bin, and we're going to let Pureflow know that we've connected the lines by hit and go. And now it will do a test. It will calibrate, it will do a system check, and it will make the batch. 7 hours and 17 minutes is what it takes. Okay? So we're done for now. After the 7 hours and 17 minutes have ended, it will alarm to let you know it's ready for the next process. And I shall bring you back when that happens. Okay, so the 7 hours and 17 minutes are up. And it says, check chloramine, remove orange line. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do that. Okay. to disconnect the orange line. Okay, we're going to put the lid on that one. Okay, and we're going to put in this cup. We got a clean cup. Open the orange line, that's to the sack, and we hit green for go. And it says dispensing. It'll take it a couple of minutes and then it'll pour it out into the cup. And there it should come out. Now it's coming out. See that? Okay. Now it's telling me to reconnect the lines. So that's what I'm going to do. But first I'm going to clamp this. Okay. Then I'm going to open the cap back off, flip it up, flip cap, and then I'm going to open the clamps, both the orange clamps, and I'm done. Now I can tell the Pureflow that I've reconnected the lines. How? By hitting the green button. So now it's telling us to check the chloramines. So let's go ahead and check the chloramines. Okay. Here's the stick to check chloramines with. So we're going to open that up. And get the stick out. Okay. This is the end that you want to put in the sample, the dialysate sample. And what we're going to do is we're going to twirl it around for about a minute. Okay, minute is up, as you can tell. So now we're going to take this and we're going to fold it in half. Well, not in half, right below the window. We're going to turn it around. See that? And then we're going to take the chart and we're going to find where we're at in color. This matches 0.0. So that means we are good there. Let's go ahead and dispose of this. Put the lid on this and then we'll dispose of that. Okay. Take this trash. Get it clean. It's some hand sanitizer. Okay. I like to do this whenever I touch other things. Now, if I would have been handling my syringes, or my needles rather, I would change gloves. Okay, so we can put this chart away. We have passed. So now we have to let her know, the Pureflow know. Okay? So, it's asking, did it pass or did it fail? If it passed, hit go. If it failed, hit stop. We're going to let it know that it passed. So we're going to hit the go, which is green. And there it is. Now you see that flashing green? When I get ready to dialyze, I'll hit the green button twice and I'll get a solid green, and that's ready for treatment. So I've got a 60-liter batch. Okay? I have to hit go to use, and then I'll hit go again. I'll show you that when I dialyze. And then the batch expires in 83 hours and 49 minutes. So that'll give me 3 treatments, 3 days. Okay? I'll come back with the next part. Okay, so I have my batch in use. I went ahead, I have a solid green light. When you end a treatment, I've already done 1 treatment, as you can see with the hours on there, 57. I did a treatment last night, which was the first one with this batch. As you can see, one of the clamps are closed. That was this one. This is the one we used last night. After you use it, you clamp it shut. It's a non-returnable clamp, meaning you can't reopen it. Okay? So now we're on to get ready to dialyze our second use of this batch, which is, as you can see here, let me open this door and get this line. We're not going to use this line. We're going to use the portable line that's attached to the pole, because we have to drain the line after the sac. Okay? Anyway, so that was the first use. We still have 57 hours left on this, and this time keeps going. It doesn't stop. It's not a stopwatch. It doesn't stop when you end your treatment. Okay? Because that dialysate is still in there. It's still live in the bin, and it has an expiration date. So it keeps going with the natural time. Alright, so we have 57 hours. I'll treat tonight, and then we'll have the remaining amount of hours to do the last treatment. Okay, so you got a solid green light. After the treatment last night, what you do is you hit stop once, and it will put this into pause. It'll put it in a rest state, like limbo. And you'll get a flashing green light. So then the next treatment, you'll hit the go button twice, and you'll get a solid green. And that's how you know that batch is in use. That means it's ready, and then it gives you the remaining hours. Okay? So now I'm going to show you how I connect with the cartridge to the Pureflow. Okay, first thing we gotta do is turn on our cycler. We pull up the handle, pull the drawer towards us. Then we go to the left side of the cycler, and we find the on button, the switch, on and off switch. We turn that on, and you'll get your series of 8. Then you'll get a 4 and a 14, and then you'll get a 54, and that's when you'll hit the mute button to let it know it can go ahead and do its thing while you do yours. There's the 414. And then you'll need the caution bars. It'll pop up here shortly. There they are, and there's the 54. She will ring or she will alarm. Here's the mute button, the only button that's populated. Everything else is shadowed out or grayed out. So you hit that to let it know, yeah, I hear you. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. So now we're going to go over here and we're going to prepare our cartridge. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean our workstation. We're going to get a sandy cloth. Okay, which is right there, sandy cloth. And we're going to wipe the table down. This is our cartridge package. Okay. Okay, just wipe that down. Then we'll dry it off with a clean dry cloth. Cartridge with the dialyzer to the left. Okay. There should be on the right side a perforated line. You want to pull on that line and open your side. Or open your cartridge side. Slide out the cartridge, lay it on top of the bag it came in, and then we're going to pull these white tabs. There's 4 of them. That'll release the lines on the cartridge. Okay, inside you have your line connectors. Okay, there's also a spike. Okay, that goes into your saline bag. This is sterilized, so be very careful not to touch it once the spike cap is off. Okay, you'll take your placard. It'll come with a placard on the blue line. You'll take that off. That's an indicator that the seals need to be checked. Here's your seal. There's a wing right here. You hold it with your left hand. You turn the seal with your right. That tightens that up. Okay. Then you have a placard on the arterial line, the red line. The same thing. Indicates you need to check your seal, make sure it's tight. Hold the wing with your left hand and turn the seal to your right. Then you have the waistline. This is not a sterilized line, but this one is upside down. The wing is on the bottom, so you hold it with your right hand and you turn the seal to the left. Okay? Now that you're done with that, you want to put your hand underneath where the spike is at to grab the spike, not the spike itself, but right underneath the neck of it and all the lines, and you want to pull them out. There is another line holder here. You want to discard that. Okay? And now you're ready to carry your cartridge over to the cycler. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, before we can put the cycler in, we have to check the fluid detection sensor, which is this piece right here. Okay, and the bars in the back. Just past one of the sanding cloth, the same sanding cloth, just past that over it. It works. It's working, so that's good. So we're going to place that where it belongs, and which is on the left side of the cycler. Right there in that little cradle on the bottom. Right in there. That's where that goes. Now we can put the cartridge inside the cycler. Okay? So we're going to grab, as we demonstrated on the table, okay, the lines. And we're going to slide the cartridge right in. Okay, and we're going to hang our saline spike up on the pole while we take care of the cartridge. Here on the cycler, there are these 2 compartments, well 3, okay, where we will put the venous line in on the top, okay. We will secure the dialysate line. Here it is right here. You see it? We push that in. And then down here is the arterial line right there. And we'll push that in. Okay? So 3 points. Once your cartridge is properly placed, we're going to close the door by pushing on the handle forward and then pushing down. And then you hear that lock. Alright? Next thing we do is we get our access pressure pod, which is the circular disc right here. It has a little cord that sticks out of it. Okay? And we're going to take it and insert it into the port of entry right there. And you push in, turn to the left, then move your fingers up to the seal and turn it to the right. Okay, so that's in place. Now, here's one more thing I like to do, because you can check your lines, make sure they're not frayed or melted or kinked. I like to release the dialyzer, if I can speak. Okay, remove the tabs. 1, 2. And here's the third tab. We turn it to where the blue clamp is on top. Okay? Blue clamp is on top. To check the lines, there's a line holder right here. You want to release it from there, and we want to check the lines to make sure, without pulling on them, to make sure they're not kinked or frayed. I had one that was actually melted in to a point, a pinch point, yeah, and frayed. So that can happen. So make sure you check. That's why I like to, before I do anything else, I like to check the dialyzer lines. Then you place your dialyzer in its cradle with the blue clamp facing north, up, okay? Just like that, okay? So now we're ready to spike our saline, okay? I'll show you how to do that. Okay, you got to untangle your lines. Move the cap from the sterilized spike. We're going to remove the wing, bottom wing, from the solution, your saline solution, and we're going to place the spike in, push up, through, and then left and right, left and right, left and right as you push up to get that good seal. Okay, and there it is. That's what you want. You want a good seal. See that? And there's the spike right there. And be careful not to poke your saline bag. It can happen, okay? But just be mindful of that. So now once you've done all this, it's okay to go ahead and hit your add fluid button. It'll give you a 23-minute marker where the machine will do a systems check, calibrate, do everything. That's your time to get your tapes and gauzes, your 2x2s, and all your supplies, your needles, your alcohol preps, all that together. Get your weight going, sign into your iPad, put in your blood pressure. Gives you 23 minutes to get all that done before it'll ask you to do something else. So this is the only button that's lit up, that's populated. Everything else is grayed out on both sides. That's what you're going to hit. Add fluid. And there's your 23. It's your 23 minutes. So I'll be back. Okay, so You see the 3 zeros on the right hand screen in red? It is time to snap and tap the lines. So we start with the arterial, which is the red line, and simply snap it all the way down to the access pressure pod. And what that does, if there's any air left in the line, it will release it and move it. Okay, I'll move it right through and out. Here's the access pressure pod. Here's the circular disc. I'm going to tap it. 1, 2, 3. Turn it up. Turn it back down. 1, 2, 3. Up, down. 1, 2, 3. 1, up and down. And you release that. Now we're going to go to the dialyzer. Yes, snap and then tap on your lines. All of them. That's your venous, your arterial, your dialysate, and your venous. So, with the blue clamp up, tap it, turn it down, and tap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up. What you're looking at is the air in this tube right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And up. And then back onto its cradle. Okay. With the clamp up. Then we're going to move on to the venous, which is this top line. Okay. And we're going to snap that. Make sure the line is free first. As free as can be, because they do get tangled. Trust and believe. Okay. So, snap that line. All the way up to the saline bag. Just follow it up all the way up to the saline bag. Get to do it again. Arterial. All the way to the access pressure pod. Tap, tap, tap. Flip, flip. Tap, tap, tap. Flip, flip, tap, 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 flip, flip. Back to the dialyzer. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Back to the cradle. Make sure the lines are straight and not caught or snagged or kinked. Okay, then we're going to take a 2x2. Right here. And we're going to put it on the cap. We're going to hold on to the wings. We're going to open and let the air out. Once the air is out, close it real tight. And close your clamp. Okay? Back to the venous. And snap. All the way back to the saline bag. Don't be afraid to tag on that real, hard. Don't be too easy with it. You want to move. If there's any air, you want to move that air up out of there. Okay? Okay. Now that we've snapped and tapped twice, we're going to go ahead and hit the only button that's lit down here. And that's your stop button. Hit that. And now she's ready to be programmed. We can attach our lines. That's what's next. So, the first line to attach. Well, the first lines to attach will be your saline line and your saline tee. This is your saline tee. Okay? We're going to open this, which is called prime. Let the air out. Okay? Seal it. Clamp it. Okay? Then we're going to find our other white line, which is right here attached to the green line, the dialysate line. Okay? So we're going to clamp the dialysate line, clamp the saline line, and we're going to disconnect. Okay? And then we're going to untangle the line before we connect it. Okay? Be careful with those entry points because they are sterile. Okay? So make sure they don't touch the floor or anything. We're going to release with both lines clamped. We're going to release the cap and discard it. I'm going to connect the saline line, the white saline line to the white saline tee. And we're done. Drop it. Now we're going to go back to our green dialysate line. And we're going to select one of the green ports to the sac, one of the ones that are open. So I'm going to choose the middle one, and what I'm going to do is just make sure that this is clamped down here. You got to make sure that's clamped, otherwise you can get sprayed. Okay, and then you disconnect, you take the cap off, and you connect green to green. Okay, and then you open this line. So this will be the first line that's been clamped that you open. Okay, so they're both open up here. And you let that go. The next line is your waste line. This is not a sterile line. Usually we would connect this line to the Pureflow line, the yellow, but we're not doing that because this Pureflow, the drain line, has to be flushed. And we'll do it after the third treatment, after the sac is empty. But anyway, you clamp your yellows, disconnect. Okay, I like to take this little cap and just put it there just to make sure nothing leaks out. And then there's a drain line attached to the pole that we usually use for the hanging bags. That's what I'm going to use to dispose of the waste during this treatment. So I'm going to go behind the machine and attach it to the line in the back. Okay? But you've seen that on the other. Make sure that it's clamped, remove the cap, and just connect and unclamp your yellow lines. So, leaving you with the green and yellow unclamped. Alright? And that's it for that. Your lines are connected. We're ready to enter our prescription. I've taken my weight already within the 23 minutes, and I'm below my target weight. So I'm going to challenge myself and do a 5 plus 0.3, a 0.5 plus 0.3 for the rinse back. So just a little challenge. So I'm going to do a 0.8. Remember, this is whatever weight is over your target weight plus 0.3 for your rinse back. Alright, so I put 0.8. I'm going to toggle back to the main screen. Okay, it's giving me a 2 hour and 52 minute dialyzing time. I want to shorten that. So I'm going to speed up the liters per hour of dialysate going through and the filtration. It's giving me 230 now, so I think we'll leave it at 0.5. 2.5 hours is fine. Or maybe Let's see what 7 will give me. Because sometimes I'll be done and then I still have half an hour. Still give me 230. So I'm going to leave it at 50. The slower the better. Take it off slowly. Better for your heart. That's what home hemo is all about. Alright, so I'm programmed and I am ready to insert my needles now. Okay, so I'm done with treatment. I still have to remove my needles, but I wanted to show you what happens at the end of treatment. How we disconnect from the Pureflow and then put it on pause for the next treatment. Pupster, go ahead and do your thing with the green, with the dialysate line.
Clamp.
You clamp, and then you clamp the top green. You clamp the dialysate line that we used, and that's it for that. And then go ahead and hit pause on the Pureflow, David, before you disconnect the other lines. What are you doing? The Pureflow. Hit stop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that pauses it until the next treatment. And that's it. You all have seen how to unload a sac, and you've seen how to load a sac before treatment and after treatment. How to connect the lines before treatment and after treatment. How to disconnect from the Pureflow line, which is the dialysate line. Again, the waistline was connected to the portable one that goes to the sink, and not to the one on the Pureflow. Otherwise, that would have been disconnected also. Okay? Well, that's everything. Thanks for joining me through this journey. And until the next one, bye. God bless you all.